Steeler fans are not going to want to hear this, but if your quarterback is not there at 21, do not reach. I know some people are going to want to trade up and be aggressive, but reaching in this class just to say you drafted a quarterback is exactly how you set a franchise back. We're going to get into Mike McCarthy, the Pittsburgh Steelers' brand new head coach. Fitting into a Mike McCarthy offense, you're going to need rhythm, timing, and spacing. We saw how it elevated Dak and the Cowboys when everything was on schedule. How McCarthy wants to use the middle of the field and have a quarterback that can process quickly, stay in structure, and win from the pocket. This isn't Madden where you can run around 1,000 times with speed and then just expect an outcome. When I evaluate a quarterback for this system, I'm not just looking at arm talent. I'm asking, how does he operate in rhythm? How does he handle progression reads? How did he lead a group of men in college? How did he command the locker room? Did he respond to adversity? Can he control protections? If he's there, pull it. If he's not, don't Superman a pick. If the quarterback isn't there at 21, this is where discipline matters. You don't just draft the fourth quarterback on your board just because you need one. This class is deeper in the trenches than it is at quarterback, so if your pick is gone, you take the value. If there's a first round graded offensive or defensive lineman on the board, I think you have no doubt but to take them and build the foundation. If the board gets stale from pick 21 to pick 27, you trade back and gain as much draft capital as you can while gaining a capable starter for the future. You strengthen the roster so when the right opportunity presents itself, whether next year via trade, you're ready. We're not just going to say, oh, we'll just try again next year. This isn't about desperation, it's about alignment between grade and value. If the quarterback tier is gone by 21, I'm exploring a trade back somewhere around 24 or 25. And if Oli Vega is still on the board, that's value. He fits the identity you're trying to build, physical, technically sound, and you solidify the offensive line instead of forcing a quarterback. I'm really looking at that offensive line tier, Vega being one of the names because his class is stronger there than at quarterback. If the top tier quarterbacks are gone early, I'm not forcing one at 21. I'd rather build the roster and take a developmental swing later. Someone like Cade Klubnik in the mid rounds. Klubnik is a good developmental fit because he's comfortable operating in rhythm and shown he can command an offense. He gives you just a little bit of a fall off compared to Simpson. Now, the class has real depth in its trenches with guys like Caden McDonald, Oli Vega, Caleb Longmu falling into that range, and those are all system fits and foundational pieces. McDonald gives you the interior power and the rotational depth that you need if an aging vet like Cam Hayward decides to retire. Vega brings versatility on the offensive line, and Longmu fits the physical identity you're trying to build. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. It's just hard. Those are plug and play contributors, and that's the point. Don't force the fourth name on the board just because you need one. You build the roster correctly and take a developmental swing later. You gain an advantage because you gain an extra second or third round. So that means you got 2 second round picks and 3 third round picks. That gives you a possibility of gaining another receiver, probably an even better receiver, while gaining a fundamental piece like an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. There's too many advantages to sit at 21 if all of the players you thought were going to be there are gone, and at this point you have no other option but to fill a hole. If you have to fill a hole, fill a hole. Plug it with a Vega, a McDonald, one of those, and look for your top setter as in wide receiver in the second round. Like I said, there's already too many wide receivers that is getting marked as not number one wide receivers that are going to show out at the combine. And the only reason you're reaching for wide receiver at this point is because you see them going off of the board way too fast. As I see it, I don't think they're going to be going off the board too fast. I think a lot of people are going to be looking for edges. You're picking up an extra second or third rounder in a draft that's deep in the trenches and at rotational positions. Day 2 is where the real starters are found, and picks mean more in controlled development. With extra capital, you can move up later if a quarterback you actually like starts sliding. And then depth wins in December. We've already been proven that and shown that. It's probably one of the most boring takes, but it's also probably one of the most realistic takes, and also one of the fastest ways to build a roster in order to be a contender, because we all know it takes good free agency and even better drafting, especially as a Steelers. This isn't about hype. It's about building a contender. You don't build contenders by chasing headlines. You build them by stacking layers. And we can all be honest. This isn't about winning draft night, and it's not about winning in January. If your quarterback is there, you take him. If he's not, you build the foundation. That's how contenders are built. If you rock with disciplined team building and real analysis, you're in the right place. This is CENO'S All 32, and if you like today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next breakdown, and have a great day.